John Pynakker with the Mojave Valley Daily News, and this is Valley Voices. We have a new sponsor. Valley Voices is sponsored by Tri-State Wi-Fi. Tri-State Wi-Fi is your less expensive, more reliable alternative to your current internet provider. They provide you with high-speed internet service at an affordable price and are bringing high-speed internet to all the residents who have been underserved for many years. So thank you to George and everyone over there at Tri-State Wi-Fi. I'm very excited. I have with me Donna Doyel. Donna is the Vice President of SAINT and also the Director of the Saving Lives Program.
Yes.
SAINT is Saving Animals in Need Together. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
Or are we not shaking hands? Are we?
Okay.
Before we get into my list of questions, today, and this is totally random, but today is the 2-year anniversary of when we adopted Bonnie. Bonnie is my 80-pound pit bull. And she looks intimidating and seems intimidating, although Bonnie isn't exactly an intimidating name, but
No.
She's a big puppy dog.
She's a good girl.
She thinks that she's a human. But it was 2 years ago today that
Yes, I delivered her.
yeah, that I met you and you brought her over. So
Yep.
it's just a coincidence that
Yeah.
we happen to be.
She came from a very bad place into a wonderful place.
Yeah, she's. We were worried because we had come from church and found out that you were coming over, and we actually had to interview, and you had to check out our place to make
Yes.
sure it was appropriate, and that. So we were very nervous.
Hey, I was ready to move in.
I was going to change out of my church clothes, and my wife said no.
No. No. You passed with flying colors.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so I've got a bunch of things here that we need to talk about. SAINT
All right.
obviously has a great reputation in the community.
Thank you.
A lot of people know about what you guys do, but we're going to cover that for the people that don't. But the thing that I want to hear about first, is this her?
This is Hope.
Is Hope.
Yes.
If you could tell us about Hope.
Okay, Hope was a very bad case of abuse and neglect that I was called out to try to see what was going on with her. She was actually in a fifth wheel, chained inside where she lived most of her life. We think she's about 9 years old. So we removed her. Animal Care and Welfare was involved. They came in and helped us. And then she went to the shelter for a night, and then we took her, and then she's been at North Valley Animal Hospital ever since. She lived in a place that was spider webs, bugs, her own waste. She couldn't get out of it because she was chained. And that's how she lived. So because of that, she had all kinds of tumors on her. She has lost her hair from alopecia. Her nails were very long, so she never really got to move more than about 12 inches. So it was a bad situation. Anyway, North Valley is wonderful. She's had a couple of surgeries. She's going to be going to Las Vegas tomorrow for a second opinion on one in particular tumor. And from there, we'll see what happens. She's healthy otherwise. She's being worked with amazing volunteers because she needs to know how to do a harness training. She doesn't really know much, but she's full of love. And once she's all healed, she needs a special needs foster. And that's our biggest worry right now. We have to get her out of boarding. We have to find a foster, but she needs to be the only dog right now.
So that'll be after she gets through all the medical things?
Yeah, she's still not done. We have one more thing tomorrow in Las Vegas, and once we find out what that in particular tumor is, then we can go from there.
And when you say special needs, you mean somebody that doesn't have
No other pets. They're going to have to, walk with her on a leash or a harness. Not a leash because her chain was embedded into her neck. Just patient. Teach her not to jump up. She's very excitable because she's had freedom, for 2 months, and that's been her whole life is just being chained. But if she were here, she'd be all over you, just wanting kisses. Which is amazing. And we are actually looking forward to the prosecutor hopefully filing animal abuse and neglect charges. Wow. And that's her movement. It's called I Am Hope. She has her own Facebook page.
Yeah, go check her out.
Yes.
I Am Hope on Facebook. Yes. I don't know how you go into these things. And,
Yeah.
and you and I talked a couple days ago about
Yeah, it's
the
bad.
dog that you found that had the back.
Got hit by a car on Sunday night in front of Hooch's, out late about 10:30. They called me from Hooch's and said, there's a dog that's hit. We don't know what to do with it. So I went out there, and it was obvious that he had extreme injuries to his rear end, his legs possibly. So I had to take him up to Kingman. Owner unknown, just a chain collar on. Young, beautiful male. We got up there and his spine was severed. So we had to euthanize him. The owners were found the next day, and unfortunately they couldn't find him when they looked for him, and they lost their beautiful boy.
Running
So
across the road.
it's you just have to keep your animals in, period. Just try to keep them in, please. Just try to keep them in. Fix your gate, fix your yard, put them inside when you leave. This boy should have never been hit, because the person that hit him just kept going. He didn't even stop. And to sever a dog's spine, you had to be going very fast. No identification on him. We could have called something. Nothing. No microchip. No tag. Beautiful young. He was probably about 2 years old.
Yeah, I saw the
Yeah.
pictures of the dog.
Bad. It was a bad night. A very bad night for everybody concerned. But luckily, we got him into Kingman, and he was let go. And he wasn't alone. I was there with him. So.
How do you deal with those things? I mean,
Oh.
this has to be a daily thing for you, just about, right?
Well, we hear sad stories every day. Giving up their pets, they're moving, they don't want them. You hear sad stories, but you have to remain positive, because that's how you become part of the change. By moving forward and saving them one at a time and helping as many as you can. If you give up, or if you get burned out, then there's others that will never be saved, and they're waiting, by the millions in our shelters all over the country. They're waiting, and if you don't adopt them out, or you don't get them heard or looked at, they're going to die there. It's bad. It's bad.
Before you and I had talked a couple of years ago, I had no idea that you guys were that they had foster homes
Yeah.
for pets rather
Yes, we
than.
need
That's an awesome
foster
idea.
homes, and because the foster is actually the most important part of the equation. There's the rescuers, which is what we do. We find them, they're surrendered to us, we take them out of the shelter. But the foster plays the biggest part in the rehabilitation of the animal, whether it's a dog or a cat. They get them into a home environment, they train them if they need to be trained, they love them, they try to work out their fears, they let them decompress and be in a good place so we can place them in a home. And really the foster is the most important part, and that's where we really need our fosters in this area. All kinds of fosters for large dogs, for small dogs, for chihuahuas, for pit bulls. I mean, cats. We just had 4 litters of kittens this summer, babies that we had to find bottle feeders for. We took them out of a hoarding situation, out of needles. So we saved them. But, we have a wonderful following. We're very blessed that we have great people following us, and you put a post up and you have many people saying, I'll do it, which is, it helps. It's part of helping, because you don't feel like an island. You feel like an island when there's no participation with the community. And, we're very blessed, and we have wonderful donors and followers and supporters. We just couldn't do it. It's everybody. Everybody counts. To save one life takes many.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Well, they need a good leader to lead them.
Just have to.
I've got a bunch more things here that I need. We've hit like 3 out of this whole page, so I've got a bunch more. But let me talk about our sponsor again real quick. Tri-State Wi-Fi has several plans for commercial residential customers. Residential packages start at just $45 a month, and they offer speeds from 12 meg up to 50 meg. There's no data cap or throttling of internet speeds. Packages are also available with symmetrical download and upload speeds for sharing large files or gaming. Surf the web with the fastest internet speeds available. Tri-State Wi-Fi is locally owned and operated, and as a member of the community, Tri-State Wi-Fi donates frequently back to its community. Currently, they serve many residential customers in the Tri-State area, from Bullhead City to the Needles Bridge and even into Needles. Commercial accounts include the Bullhead City Government Center, all city parks, and the Mojave Valley Fort Mojave Community Park. All right, so I got a few programs here. that I want to ask you about real
Okay.
quick, and then I want to talk about your call to the public on Monday, the Board of Supervisors.
Yes.
How that went. All right, Spay-Neuter voucher program.
Okay. Spay-Neuter voucher program is a program you can apply for, which you call into the Saint line. We have our voucher director call you back, you issue a voucher, and you have to bring your animal and the voucher up to the low-cost spay and neuter in Kingman, and we pay for half of the procedure.
All right, so I don't have to have adopted my pet from you?
Oh, they come
It could
spay and
be
neutered.
anybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
anyways,
yeah.
Ours are already, they're done.
That's already
But if in the community, unless you get them from a shelter, they may need to be spay or neutered. So it's for the community's use, yeah.
The foster adoption program we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
At least the foster side. The adoption, they just need to get a hold of you if they.
Yep.
Now they can go to your Facebook page and see the pictures.
We post on Facebook, we post on our website of all the animals that we are currently in need of adopting or fostering out.
Okay. All right, you have on here trying to work with local officials to come up with a plan to try and attract affordable vet
Yes,
care.
yes,
This is
that's
something.
big.
Hasn't it been 1,000 years that we've been looking
Yes,
for
1,000
affordable-
years. Well, we're going on 1,001 now. So the issue here is that we have a community, a very limited income population, veterans, our seniors, lower income families, and they all have pets, and they deserve to have pets, but they don't have affordable care here. It's very expensive just to get into the office for some people. Some people, they're fine. But these are people on limited incomes, and they can't afford just basic office call, which means they don't get in to be vaccinated or spay or neutered or in for a wellness check. So when somebody has to decide whether I take my animal to the vet because he's sick or pay my rent or my electric bill, then we have a problem that becomes everyone's problem. Because the animals that come to us that need medical attention, by then it's very expensive. But we have to help them, and that's what we have our medical fund for. But we can't do that for the entire community. So we're trying to see if we can attract some kind of lower cost spay-neutering, at least spay-neutering, or just affordable care. We tell everybody to go up to Kingman to low-cost spay and neuter. Why wouldn't we want to leave that money in our own community? And so talking to the local vets, it's very difficult. I mean, it's a business for them.
And they're already busy.
And they're busy, and it's going to be an ongoing thing, but we're not going to give up because there's too many animals here that are they're not well. They grow old, very sick, and we have to help these people. And it's heartbreaking to talk to our seniors and our veterans that have animals that are sick, and they can't afford them.
Would you also include the microchipping as part of that service? The veterinarians do the microchipping.
Yes, all of our animals are microchipped. When we do help an animal with the medical, it's usually we want to get the medical procedure done. If they need vaccinations, we will do that. If it is spay and neutering, we will do that. Microchipping is optional, but we like to see every animal microchipped.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
makes sense.
We have to. There's
No
too
way
many
around.
strays. Yeah.
All right, you have on here urging everyone to have a plan for when
Yes.
something occurs in your life and you no longer can
Right.
take care of it.
Right.
Is
That's a big concern here too. I get many calls from caregivers, from first responders, from relatives of people that have either passed away or they're going into a facility or they just no longer care for them and there's no plan for their animals. And then they either go into the shelter program or we would have to have a foster available to take their pet. An animal that has lost its human companion going into the shelter system is very difficult for them. It's heartbreaking. They're confused, they're
Confusing, yeah.
scared. I go pick them up and they're like, "Who are you?" And it's turmoil. So everyone should try to have a plan, a relative, a friend, a neighbor, somebody that could actually just keep that animal at least until we can work quickly and find one. But sometimes there is no time and there is no foster, so they take them to the shelter.
That's heartbreaking.
And that's heartbreaking.
Okay, we only got a Couple minutes left. Let's talk about your call to the public on Monday. You went up to the Board of Supervisors.
Yes, that was a call to the to the supervisors because hope is the beginning of the change. That's what we're trying to do. The change for the care that people give their pets. To pick up an animal that has been abused and neglected for the majority of her life is heartbreaking, and it should not be allowed or tolerated in any possible way. And it's very easy in this community because the county is so vast. There's sections of the county that we don't even know what's going on with animals. So bringing hope before the Board of Supervisors, we feel is a beginning. Let's just open up a conversation. Start prosecuting. Just start prosecuting. We don't want people to, be fined, to the point where they lose their homes, but this should not be allowed or tolerated in our society.
Enforce the laws that are
Enforce them.
there.
They're on the books.
Yeah.
So I think the beginning to me is going to the state so that we can change the law that animals are a piece of property. Mm-hmm. Right now they're treated like a toaster where you can do whatever you want. So the laws that are on the books, they don't mean anything unless the animal itself is worthy, in the eyes of the law and the state. Right. So they have to have a face. This is the face right here. It has to be a beginning. Mm-hmm. And we're taking a big chance, and we're probably going to make a lot of enemies, but I'm not going to stop.
Well, when it's something you're passionate about,
yes.
as you obviously
she matters.
Donna.
They matter. Yeah. They matter.
It's an important thing.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I was going to ask how to get a hold of you, or what's the best way to get a hold of you, but you printed out this whole thing for me here. I know Jeff likes it when I hold stuff up in the air. But the website is bhcsaint.org. Yep. Facebook, BHC Saint. You have the I Am Hope Facebook page.
For hope.
Phone number is 928-985-0663. You can email them at contact@bhcsaint.org. And then mailing address where you can send those checks is P.O. Box 22411, Bullhead City, Arizona, 86439. Thank you so much, Donna.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
I tell you, we lost our dog. We had to have, she just got too old and was having some problems, and we had to put her down, and we were sure that we would never get another dog. And then one day it just popped up on the website.
Yeah.
Look at this, Bonnie Blue. Yeah. And I sent the picture to my wife, and a couple days later, she was ours.
And she's still on your couch.
She's been sleeping on that couch ever since.
Well, you know what? That's the reason why we keep doing this, because when we place an animal, that is the happy ending we want. And whatever it takes to get that animal there, we're going to do it.
And it's not just a happy ending for her. It was...
for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right,
everyone, spay and neuter your animals.
Yes.
And rescue. Don't buy. Don't shop. Adopt.
Don't shop, adopt.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Donna, and thank you to Tri-State Wi-Fi. Tri-State Wi-Fi is here to serve you. The owner is a member of your community, not a corporation, and they give back to the community accordingly. They are currently looking to increase their staffing. So if you're looking for a long-term position as a technician or computer installer, or if you're looking to change your internet service provider, contact them today at 928-763-3446, or send your resume in to info@cshopaz.com. That's C like computer, shop, az.com. Thanks for joining us, and we will be hopefully seeing you next week.